Straight razors. We get a lot of questions on how to sharpen these guys. So today I'm going to show you how to sharpen a straight razor on a wicked edge system. I'm going to be sharpening on a Dovo from Solingen, Germany, and I'll be working on the We66, but everything I'm about to tell you is going to work for every single one of our systems. Let's talk about what you need. So you are going to need a 1500 and 2200 grit diamond stone, a 3000 glass. On the glass side, you're gonna want a 3 micron diamond lapping film. Moving up, you're gonna need some strops. So you're gonna need the 4.2 micron diamond emulsion and the 1.5 micron diamond emulsion. One more thing besides the wicked edge system is if you have a dual cam vise, then you are going to need a low angle adapter. If you have a standard vise, then you don't need the low angle adapter as the vise is already thin enough. All right, so let's go ahead and clamp this sucker. First thing we're going to do is if we have a low angle adapter, then we're going to go ahead and clamp that into our vise. On most of our knives, we would traditionally clamp down on the spine. So we would take it and then tighten down somewhere on the spine of the knife. But for a straight razor, that's going to be a little different. We're going to clamp down on the tang of the straight razor. If you can remove the handle, go ahead and do that now. It's going to make it 10 times easier for you to clamp it down. So I'm going to put it down. We're going to put it as high as we can in the vise, with still enough bite where it's going to hold down nice and tight. Now let's just tighten down. And we want to make sure that razor is level. Now that we have the straight razor clamped down in our vise, we need to find the angle. Finding the angle is actually very easy on a straight razor because the angle is already built into the straight razor. How is that? All we're going to do is take a look at the shoulder, and from the shoulder to the edge, that diagonal line is going to be the angle that you need. Let's put that into practice, but before we involve our abrasives, let's go ahead and do the Sharpie. As always, you're going to put it across the edge, and another thing I like to do, besides marking the edge of the razor blade, is also mark the shoulders with my Sharpie. I'll explain why we're doing that in a second. Alright, so now that I have the edge and the shoulders marked up, let's go ahead and get our abrasives, the 1522. Little side note, you don't want to go any more coarse than the 1500 unless you're doing some major repair work on these knives. So we're going to start at the 1500 side. We're going to place the stone against the shoulder and edge of the knife. Now that we have the stone touching the shoulder and the knife, we pretty much have our angle, but we just need a little bit of clearance between the shoulder and the abrasive. So we're just going to kick it back until we have the minimum amount of clearance possible. So now that I think I have my angle, we're going to go ahead and drag down and see the Sharpie. You're going to want to be careful of the vise because the vise is still going to get in your way. So you want to make sure that you carry your stone just above the vise and then using the edge leading motion going down and away. Now let's go ahead and check where we're at and make sure we're only hitting the edge and not touching the shoulder. And this is how we can check. So if you'll take a closer look here, you'll notice just on the front of the razor here that the Sharpie has been knocked off. That's telling me that my stone is dragging against the front of the shoulder. So let's go ahead and mark it in and adjust. Now that my knife is clamped and I have my angle, it's time to start the sharpening process. If your razor blade is completely dulled down, let's go ahead and start from the 1500s and we're going to create the burr. So starting on one side, staying above that vise, we're going to use our edge leading motion. And we'll do about 10 strokes of that until we create a burr. Once we've created a burr on one side, we'll go ahead and repeat that to the other. Now that we've created a burr on both sides, let's go ahead and just go through our regular progressions. You're going to want to go ahead and do 10 swipes per side. That's 20 swipes total. Now, here's where things get a little interesting. When you're switching over to the lapping film and the strops, we want to reverse our edge leading motion. We want to do that for two reasons. The first reason being, if you use the edge leading motion with a lapping film or strop, the edge of your blade will actually cut into the lapping film or the leather. The second reason is we want to continue avoiding the vise. So as we go up and back, we'll be clearing that vise. I like to wipe off the dust in between abrasives. It helps keep my lapping film and strops clean. It also helps prevent the pastes from mixing between the two different strops. Let's go ahead and practice that. Now it's okay to take your time and go nice and slow on this. You can also do a walking motion too, where you just take it easy until you make it to the very back of the blade. No matter how fast you go, you're going to be sharpening your blade. With a little rubbing alcohol on my rag, I'm just going to wipe off some of that metal dust to keep our strops nice and clean. And we're going to jump over to the 4-micron leather strop. All right, we're almost there. We're going to go down to the 1 micron, but that same reverse edge leading motion. Just like that, we're all sharpened up. Let's get our blade a quick clean off and remove. Hold the handle or the tang of your straight razor and loosen. When you're cleaning, make sure you always pull and drag away. If you want to touch up your razor blade, make sure you write down your settings, and you can start at the 4-micron strop and work your way back up to the 0.5. Till next time, stay sharp.